Nadine, thank you so much for joining me. Every month is a busy month in L&M MediLaw, but in particular October is proving to be a busy month with lots of events around awareness going on. And I wonder if you could just tell us a little bit about what is going on presently, please.
Okay, thank you, Ali. At L&M MediLaw, we're always keen to put patients at the forefront of everything we do. And as you said, October is a very important month for many reasons. It marks World Cerebral Palsy Day and Baby Loss Awareness Week, which was last week from the 9th to the 15th of October 2020. On October the 15th, we took part in the global wave of light, where we lit a candle in memory of babies that have been lost to us and also by our clients. Also, this week marks the start of Erb's Palsy Awareness Week, and I thought it would be useful to raise awareness about this condition, give some basic information on what it is, and talk you through my own personal experience as my son Sam was born with Erb's palsy in 19. With respect to the term Erb's palsy, just to give a quick explanation, it's got other terms, and you may hear obstetric brachial plexus injury and obstetric brachial plexus palsy. And also there's Erb's palsy. I use Erb's palsy, and that was named after the 19th century German neurologist, Dr. Wilhelm Erb. And that's, I think, the most commonly used name for the Erb's palsy. What is a brachial plexus? What is an Erb's palsy? The brachial plexus, very briefly, it's like a complicated network of nerves which control muscles in the shoulder, the arm, the elbow, the wrist, hand and fingers, as well as providing them with feelings. Surgeons and therapists, physiotherapists, occupational therapists, etc., they can work out which specific nerves roots were injured by examining the pattern of weakness that a patient has. Who does it affect? A brachial plexus injury affects approximately 1 in every 1,800 babies born in the UK. It can cause weakness in the baby's shoulder, arm, and hand, but the effect of the injury is variable. Each child is different. The speed of recovery also varies. Some show big improvements within days to weeks, while others recover much more slowly, and these children may benefit from surgical treatment. Each child is affected differently by brachial plexus injury, and I suppose each family, as well as my own, reacts in their own way. Therefore, treatment for this condition and care should be approached with sensitivity, and it should be individualised towards the child. Primarily, just for a webcast that we're doing, I want to talk about newborns. It can also happen to children or adults later on in life, but purely for the focus today, I want to talk about with respect to newborns. And Erb's palsy usually occurs during a difficult delivery. And this may be because the baby's large, a breech presentation, or a prolonged labour. Erb's palsy may also happen when the baby must be delivered quickly to prevent more serious harm to the mother and the baby, and some force is necessary to pull the baby from the birth canal. The baby's shoulders may be stretched away from its neck, and injury to the nerves which runs from the neck down to the arm may result.
What was your own experience, Nadine, if you're okay to share that with us?
Yeah, I thought it might be useful to have a bit of a personal story in the hope that it may help people going through something similar. My son Sam was born after a lengthy 12-minute shoulder dystocia. Shoulder dystocia is when the baby's head is delivered, but the shoulders become impacted behind the mother's pubic bone, and that delayed in the birth of the baby's body. As my shoulder dystocia was very severe, several attempts were made to deliver him, including attempts to push his head back inside the birth canal, attempts to break the pelvic cartilage. All were unsuccessful, and everyone has a similar story depending on the severity of the shoulder dystocia, if that's what occurred with them. My consultant obstetrician told me that she located the arm, Sam's arm. So after 12 minutes, Sam was born stillborn, and he required CPR and adrenaline to restore his heartbeat. Shortly thereafter, he began having seizures, and this is when he was diagnosed with a left-sided Erb's palsy. And the reason was his whole body was convulsing except the left side. They could see that his arm was not moving. His arm remained immobile for the next few weeks of his life. Of age, he was also diagnosed with cerebral palsy. So sometimes it's quite difficult to differentiate the physical impact of the Erb's palsy on one hand and the physical impact of the cerebral palsy. So it's just complicated matters a little bit. So as a first-time, I had no idea what Erb's palsy was. I'd never even heard of this condition, as I suspect most of the public don't. One of the things I noticed is there seems to be a complete lack of awareness about this condition, so I think it's important to talk about. So Sam immediately started physiotherapy. We paid a lot of attention to his left arm. He initially held it in the classic position tip. So that was with his arm flexed down and his hand clenched behind. And if you can imagine, they used to say in days gone by, that's the classic position a waiter would hold his hand waiting to be slipped a tip, and that's why it got called the waiter's tip. So we began making up games for Sam. I would sometimes hold him on my hip with his good arm facing inwards so that his left arm was forced to reach out and touch things. We would hold objects out for him, and over the days we would increase the height so that he had to reach further and further each time. It was frustrating for us, for him, and absolutely heartbreaking for us to have to do that. Sam had significant input from the occupational therapy department, who were fantastic. They bought him a special table which held him in a good position and forced his arm to be above the table so he couldn't hold it down in that position. From there, we were able to play games and he was able to encourage him to use that left hand. We continued like this for years, and I suppose as any parent would, hoping that they would gain full mobility in the left side. I was told that Sam's nerves were badly stretched, but thankfully not severed, so there was a chance of at least partial recovery. Sam was not suitable for surgical intervention, so we continued with physiotherapy and occupational therapy. We also made a little table with a bar, and that forced him to open up the hand to clench onto the bar because the fingers were very much clenched at this time on his left side. So we continued with the therapies for years and years, and Sam, now he's 24 years old and he's graduated from university. He did have difficulty at university using a computer because he could only type with one hand, the left hand, so it was a very slow, painstaking task for him. It takes him a lot longer to do things than his peers, and it was very frustrating for him. He does still have difficulty with two-handed tasks such as reading, but he gets around that with Kindles or iPads. Most teenagers do. I'm incredibly proud of all the obstacles he's had to overcome. In 2000, I came across a group online called the Erb's Palsy Group in the UK. And that was in the days before Facebook and Twitter. It was like a Yahoo chat online forum. And it was such an excellent resource for me. I would thoroughly recommend to anyone who's going through the diagnosis with their child or simply wishes to get further information on Erb's palsy to contact them. The chairperson is a lovely lady called Karen Hillier, and she really helped me through some dark times and provided me with such excellent information. And you can contact them now on Facebook. By the time Sam was 10 years old, he was on this online forum chatting to other members' children who had also been diagnosed with Erb's. So it was a fantastic resource for him to have the support and know that he wasn't alone.
Is there any advice that you would give to parents who have recently had their child diagnosed with Erb's?
My advice would be to join the online community, such as the Erb's Palsy Group in the UK, where you can receive so much support and so much information. Keep up with physiotherapy, invent your own games, whatever your child needs. Don't compare your child to other children, which is classic what I used to do. It took me some time to finally realise that my goal as a parent was simply to help Sam reach his full potential, whatever that full potential was going to be, and to stop comparing him to other children. Celebrate the little wins. I remember crying with happiness the first time Sam opened his hand and Liz gripped onto my finger, and I was crying, but trying not to cry in front of him, and it was a wonderful moment. And just never give up. That's my biggest piece of advice. Just never give up, keep going.
Yeah, that's inspiring to hear, and congratulations to you and to Sam. Obviously, fantastic to hear of his achievements in relation to graduating from university and fulfilling his potential. So that's fantastic. I'm sure highlighting conditions like this, I have to be honest and say it's just a condition that I don't think I had ever of. And the awareness, the raising that you're doing, I'm sure is really helpful to people affected by it and in general terms for anyone just needing to know what type of difficulties people are facing. So thanks very much.
Oh, thank you. I really hope so. It's surprising, isn't it, when you hear that 1 in every 1,800 babies are born with this condition, yet many people don't know about it. Indeed, I didn't until Sam was born. So, yeah, it's important to discuss these things. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Nadine.
Thank you.